Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the Bird's Nest Podcast. I'm Joe Donahue. Thank you so much for joining us. It is really important for any sport to foster an appreciation of that sport among kids, among the younger generation. And you need to do that for a few reasons. One, it helps ensure the longevity of that sport because there's a fan base for it. And two, it's going to help foster additional talent to help teams be able to bring in new players as their current ones age with sufficient talent to help them get to whatever championship their sport offers. That's, at least in theory, some of the reason why baseball has made some of the rules changes that it has. But it's also really important for the NFL to do. And one of the ways that the NFL does that is through the NFL Flag Program, which fosters an appreciation for the sport of football in a way that is physically much safer than tackle football or even two-hand touch. Now, growing up myself, football was one of those things that I really looked forward to playing on the playground at recess. I really looked forward to getting out there with my friends, being able to throw the football around, run some plays, really just enjoy that environment and enjoy that time. And also it helped to foster an understanding of that game. The flag football programs that are run by the NFL also help to do that. And the NFL and individual teams partner with organizations to try to put on regional flag football tournaments throughout the country. Philadelphia just had one just outside of Downingtown just after Thanksgiving. Flag football teams of all ages gathered in Downingtown and were competing for the title in their particular age group, whether it was 12 and under or 14 and under, high school aged. Whatever your age bracket was, your team was competing for a championship in that bracket. And it was a co-ed tournament as well. Men and women teams competing from all across the Philadelphia area, South Jersey, some Maryland, some South Central Pennsylvania. Teams were coming from all over. I had the chance to go out there on Saturday as a credentialed reporter to witness the tournament, and I was really struck by how widespread the interest in flag football has been. When I was growing up, flag football simply didn't have the same level of organization that it does today. And you could tell that the players were enjoying it too. And it makes sense. You really have to enjoy the sport that you're playing if you're going to go out in sub-freezing temperatures to play it. It was cold. Now, as I was talking with some of the folks who were responsible for administering the tournament, one of the things that was very apparent was the importance of the NFL's sponsorship of this particular event. Because it enabled resources to be able to pull off a monstrous event like this. Toyota was the title sponsor of the regional flag football tournaments throughout the country, as well as other presenting sponsors that enabled certain things to occur, like the rental of the facility. It also enabled each player on each team to have their own flag football jersey for that event, fitting with the area in which this tournament occurred. It was a Philadelphia Eagles jersey. Even the Eagles got involved. They sent Swoop out there at the beginning of the day to help fans get excited, help players get excited, and at the end of the day, the winners were met by former Eagle Trey Thomas, who helped them celebrate their victory. Now, it is a tournament, so there had to have been a prize. Championship rings for these regional tournaments. But there was more than that, because teams were also given the opportunity to nominate an MVP, who got a few other special prizes as a part of a prize pack. But the biggest prize of all, the winning teams in each age group, men and women teams, are going to be invited this summer to compete in the Nationals tournament, which is held at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, representing the Philadelphia region at that tournament. And it says a lot about the growth of flag football over the course of the last several years that a national tournament is being held at the site of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But that's also to be expected. It says a lot about the growth of flag football that flag football is going to be an Olympic sport in just 4 years at the Los Angeles Summer Games in 2028. That was something I had the opportunity to talk with Troy Vincent, Executive Vice President for Football Operations for the National Football League, just this past summer.
So I just think, man, why is it important? I always say there's three things. It's affordable, it's accessible, and it's all inclusive. When you have those three elements, man, let's not price families out of our sport. It's accessible. I don't need a special venue to play it. I can play it in a parking lot, on the street. I don't need a big old venue to go out and play. And then it's all inclusive. There is a place for everybody. Doesn't matter your color, your gender. It doesn't matter your body type. Man, there's a place and ball for you. When we say football for all, flag allows us to truly represent that. So I mean, this is one of the more things I'm most excited about, because it's really advancing our sport worldwide.
One thing was very apparent about this tournament, and that is that whether the players won and are going to Canton or didn't win, they still have a memorable experience and an opportunity to grow in love for the sport of football. As always, let me know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much to everybody for tuning into the Bird's Nest Podcast. You can support the Bird's Nest Podcast by liking and subscribing to Bird's Nest Media right here on YouTube, as well as by sharing to your social media pages. You can also find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, and the Odyssey app. Please visit birdsnestmedia.com for additional Eagles and NFL coverage. And if you feel so inclined to support us in a different way, you can find the link to our Patreon in the description below or at birdsnestmedia.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's go Eagles!